Hello again. Welcome to my channel. I'm Goldie, and here on my channel I share my golden goodies from my experience, my life, my knowledge. Always remember, miracles happen every day. Why not to you? Why not to me? So today I want to share how I stumbled over Neville some years ago. It was only 3 years ago. And although I had read a lot of stuff like The Secret, Rhonda Byrne, and Eric Byrne, all the psychological stuff, and Grindler and NLP, and I have really in my library, I don't lie when I say I have hundreds of books. It's in the meantime, it's over 1,000 books. And many of those are in psychology, health, and business, and booking, and accounting, everything like this. And so I stumbled over Neville. This is a real interesting story because I had, discovered, now it's linking back to my video about assumptions. I had discovered that I have deep down in I call it my heart, deep down in my personality, some things from my childhood that are so deep down, they were mean also by the educating people around me, but also by children and so on. And they were so mean that they're sticking inside of me very deeply. And part of this also was my beliefs and my assumptions around money, success, and finances. Also, I had quite some success in my life, but I also had these downfalls. And so I realized that there's something in me that drives me, and that comes out of this early influencing. This programming, that sits so deep down. And then I realized it so intensely in the beginning 2022, sorry. So I started to look around. I thought I really should do something like hypnosis. I must kind of cleanse myself innerly to override the old program so that I have a chance to come over this. Finally, I'm not 20 anymore, like you see, I'm already 30. Anyway, so I thought it's time now. And it was so clear to me because I saw some things in me, some reactions. I thought, where do they come from? It's not willingly. And I started searching in the internet. That was the time where I really discovered YouTube and the learning videos there. And I looked around. Many years ago already, I sometimes worked with affirmations without being really aware how powerful they could be. And I never really meditated, although I did prayer and often prayed to God, but I always never knew really if something would come true, my prayers would be answered or not. So it's always this insecurity. And everything came together back then. And so I started to look around in the internet, and I started with affirmations, around, self-concept. I would name it today self-concept, self-confidence more, to adjust my inner beliefs about money, success. And so I tried to override it with affirmations. And then someday I stumbled over subliminals. I did that. So the affirmations really helped me in certain things, but I still felt the stuff is still there. It's not away. It's when I stop doing it or stop influencing me positively, I kind of sink back in this, what I call, I have a melancholic, although I almost never am in bad mood. I'm a very stable person. Also was before the menopause. But I always was a very stable person, very more left-brained, more, logic and so on. So I never was such a crazy guy or going too much out of myself and so on, or screaming around or yelling around. This was not so my thing. Never. So I went after subliminals, but still felt the stuff was still there, the bad stuff. And when I don't take care or let loose with affirmations and overriding, it kind of comes back. I went back into this melancholic state where I preferred to be alone, or I don't want to see partner, husband, children or so. And this, there I feel that it gets me back, that's kind of a boomerang coming, or a kind of takes me back. So I went on searching on YouTube and in Google and so on. I read again some books I had. It didn't really help me. Then someday, I don't know why I stopped there. It was a very bad video of an old man, very much pixel, not a good video. I didn't know what the title were, but something must have hooked me there. And the old man told a manifestation story. And I listened to it. He somehow told that he experienced this kind of miracle for him. And he told it to some person who held the camera. And he told the story where he met Neville. He was a real, student of him, sitting in seminars. And when Neville, I don't know where he was, in New York, I think, back then. So he really attended seminars with the real, true Neville. And he told the story of one of the seminars where Neville gave them a homework, more or less. And Neville told them to, in the next, I think 3 or 4 days, it's the thing with the letter, that they should imagine in the evening, before they go to sleep, when they're already in bed, they should visualize a ladder. And they should visualize how they climb the ladder, how the hand goes up, and how they change their weight on the first step, and so on, the first level, and so on. They really should realize it and see their hand moving, see their foot climbing, and so on. And at the same time, he said, you do that for 3 or 4 nights. At the same time, you write little pieces of paper, Post-it, whatever they said there. And on those you write, I will not climb a ladder. And you put those pieces of paper everywhere, also in your purse, also in the car, where you often are, on the fridge. I will not climb a ladder. So it's more or less the logic mind against the visual mind. So that I translated that for me like this. Picture against text, So, and then he told, Neville told them, and only the ones should come back next week to his seminars who did all this and who climbed finally a ladder. And this old man back then, he did it because he thought this is kind of stupid exercise. And so he did it. And he imagined climbing the ladder, and he wrote his stickers and pieces of paper with the contrary text. And he did all that. And then he wasn't into this. He said I have no ladders around me. I don't want to climb ladders anyway. So I certainly will not climb a ladder until next week to see Neville again. And then his mother somehow called, if he doesn't want to come out in the suburb or whatever, to see them, to eat with them, with her and his father. And he said, okay, I come. He took the bus, the train, whatever. He came near his home. His father was working on the house. And his father said, seeing him coming, hey, please hand me this bucket down there. And this, now old man, back then younger, took the bucket and handed it to his father, unconsciously climbing the ladder that stood at the house wall. And halfway on the ladder, he realized only that he now climbed a ladder. And he couldn't believe it. And he came back, next week to Neville. And Neville kind of made a big conclusion to those people. Obviously, not everybody came back. I don't know if they didn't climb the ladder, if they didn't do the exercise, I don't know. But not everybody came back to this real seminar of Neville. And anyway, then Neville made the big conclusion, and he said, instead of climbing the ladder, you as easily could have made 1 million. And there he got me. I was so astonished that this kind of visualizing was winning over the text, the statement of will, I will not climb a ladder. Many people say our subconsciousness doesn't know the word not or no. I don't know if that's true. Nobody knows. I think it's more the picture against the text. This is, for me, the sense of it, that the picture wins against pure text. This is something to think about. And so I sat there, I think I heard it a second and third time, I couldn't believe it. That by visualizing, you can do that. I then searched the internet and people told about how they did the ladder experience themselves, they tried it. I couldn't do that back then myself because around our house, we had a lot of, building work done, painting the house and the rooftop was kind of repaired. So ladders all around. Maybe this was the reason I stumbled over the ladder story, because I always saw ladders around me. So I couldn't do the ladder story. It was too near to me, But I started to visualize other things. And after this, I used visualizing more, although I am a strong daydreamer, but this was something somehow different, in my opinion. And so this was my first encounter with strange Neville. And then I started, when I'm hooked by something like this, I bought his books. I bought the big book, I really work with him. I'm now reading it for the third time because it's so dense. And every time I read it or I read a certain chapter, I see something different in it. And I'm really thrilled. And he quotes a lot of the Bible. And then he hooked me a second time when I started to hear his internet speeches. He quoted the Bible a lot. And now you should know about me. I'm a true believer, and I'm really fit theologically. Not only because I studied languages and translational sciences in university, but I'm really fit in languages, and I learned Hebrew and Old Greek to see what's really written in the Bible, because the translations are partly so bad. You shouldn't read them. And I think in the meantime that the big churches anyway undergone their collaborators with politics and everything. But anyway, this is a different issue. But I really think that they translated some parts and important parts of the Bible intentionally wrongly, that we don't get it. But anyway, as Neville quoted the Bible so often, I went to the original text and looked it up if it's true what he says. And I can tell you one thing. Often it's true. Means the exegesis of Neville is better than of the so-called churches. And this was something that really hooked me. And he opened a whole new world for me. And, there were some sayings of Yeshua. By the way, his name was never Jesus. It is a Greek heathen name he never had. Yeshua said a lot of things like, along you believe, it's done to you, and just imagine this thing, you already have it and it's done to you, and such things. I never could handle those. I always thought I never really experienced that because I didn't know what he really means. But Neville there made the bridge for me. And if you're interested about theology, I can take on any rabbi. I'm really good in the meantime, and you shouldn't mess with me concerning theology. And that's something Neville really hooked me. I think that not in many, but in some parts he's not right and even misleading somehow. But churches are misleading in many things. But, it's an interesting topic anyway. And then the next thing I stumbled over, sure, Neville, the Barbados story, because this hooked me even more than the ladder story. And if you're interested, I will make a video about Barbados because I really researched that. There's not so much out there, but I researched everything. The ship line he used, the timeline he was on. And I really researched what I could get about this, Abdullah and so on. Because it really was so shocking for me, And so I hope, I tried to do it today also, that through visualizing, but I mean, I also feel that in some parts I'm really, I wanted too much, yeah. And the big thing of a ladder story is, and this I also took with me, that, you know, nobody is attached to climbing a ladder. If you're detached, you think, okay, if it happens or not, it won't change my life, it won't change my accounts, it won't change my health, you know. It's nothing that's really important to us. And therefore, probably this form of detachment, that we don't really cling to it and want it, you know, that we are not so tense about it, this for many people made it happen. And the Barbados story, on the other hand, is different. Also, Neville had this kind of tense thing in him concerning Barbados. So next time we're going to talk about Barbados and what I learned from it, I took from it, and how I try to use it for myself, for my life, to make it better still today, and to get rid of the stuff that's still sitting somehow in my heart. So I thank you for listening. Please write your experiences with ladder stuff, Barbados stuff, how you use this SATS, this state akin to sleep, how you manifest. It's totally interesting, and it's even aligned, I must say it, with the sayings of Yeshua and the Bible. So, what do we want more? Okay, so I say goodbye until my next video. I wish you luck until my next video. Bye.